Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001. But more importantly, we are booking the invasion angle. As you can see by the notebook here, we are clearly hot into the King of the Ring tournament, as we have some round 2 matches, or actually only have one round 2 match already announced, but we'll find out another tonight as round 1 continues, as we will see Devon Dudley battle Edge and Bubba Ray Dudley battle the WCW Canadian champion Lance Storm. But before we can get to that, we had a couple of locker room incidents. The first one I would like to talk about is Vince McMahon, passed along tips on a microphone work to his proteges/children, Shane and Stephanie McMahon. And the other one is a little bit more interesting, kind of funny, is apparently The Undertaker, nerds and geeks. That's right, the dead man, the legendary Undertaker, lifted the locker room's morale when he organized and then won a video game tournament. Now, what they were playing, I don't know. Maybe Undertaker had a lot of fun from Sunday Night Heat. Why he would have been there, I don't know either. Then again, Heat, I believe, is supposed to be recorded when Raw is. Either way, Undertaker apparently had a lot of fun when Billy Kidman brought over his PlayStation and they all played Tekken. So I guess Taker wanted to do it again, so he went out and bought his own PlayStation and he brought it and was like, hey guys, I've been practicing this all night. I haven't got any sleep. Let's play some Tekken. That's what I'd like to imagine, at least. Anyway, let's go ahead and run the show. We have a couple of pre-show matches. Wow. Never, ever would I have ever expected this. This could have been on the legit show and probably will do better than a lot of the matches on tonight's Monday Night Raw. But, Canyon and Hugh Morris beating the new, or not beating, Canyon and Hugh Morris taking on the new WWF Tag Team Champions, Test and Albert. They got a solid B rating in a decent pre-show match. Test and Albert defeating Canyon and Morris when Albert defeated Canyon with the flying leg drop. That's surprising to see this got a B. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Hugh Morris had a C+, Canyon had a B-, and Test Albert had a B-, and Test had a B, so Test was the best in the match. We move on to our next pre-show match. Did we miss one? I think we missed one. We missed one. I'm going back because the reason I want this pre-show match is so important. That means that Test and them might not get a B, but then again, it is only pre-show. Oh, we didn't miss one. Oops. Well, spoiler report, we didn't miss it. I just never pushed it back. So either way, let's move on. So we start off the pre-show with a C+ rating, which honestly isn't bad at all. C+ rating and a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but not much weight and heat. Rey Mysterio Jr. defeating Das Wonder Kid, Alex Wright, in 8 minutes and 2 seconds with the springboard Hurricanrana, making his 4th defense of the Cruiserweight Championship. Alex Wonder Kid, or excuse me, I keep calling him Alex. I think I might change his name to that, Alex Wonder Kid. Alex Wright, Das Wonder Kid, Alex Wright, former WCW Cruiserweight Champion, Tag Team Champion with Disco Inferno, and Television Champion, is in our developmental system, and I figured, why not give him a call-up tonight and have him battle Rey Mysterio since I wanted to get Mysterio on the card. He is getting better at his gimmick, and he wasn't far off from Mysterio. I mean, they're a whole grade apart, of course, but Rey Mysterio had a C+, which, come on, he's Rey Mysterio, and Alex Wright had a D+, so not too shabby. So we then go on to still getting a solid B here, TNA defeating Canyon and Hugh Morris. Still impresses me. And then our main event of the pre-show also gets a solid B in a pre-show match that had great wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Team WCW, Booker T and the Steiner brothers defeating Chris Jericho and the Hardy Boys in 12 minutes 20 seconds when Scott Steiner defeated Matt Hardy with the Frankensteiner. So Jeff had a B, Matt Hardy had a B-, Jericho had an A, Scott Steiner had an A, and Booker T with a surprising A star here. Rick Steiner, of course, being the weakest link with the C+. although Rick Steiner is improving in flying and Scott Steiner is improving in Rumble. So we start off the show. We open the show with an A star. Hell yeah. A star to open off the show. Monday Night Raw opens. Triple H, he's making his way down to the ring alongside his wife, Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. Once in the ring, he takes the mic and he says, let me take a rink. I don't even know what I'm trying to do anymore. Great commentary today, guys, right? Let me take a drink. And then Triple H takes the mic and he says, shut up. I'm not out here for your entertainment. I'm here for one reason and one reason only. Austin, I know you're at home too busy crying and taking care of your precious protege after I beat his ass, sir. But I know you're watching and I know you're listening. Austin, at SummerSlam, you didn't beat me, and I want my damn rematch. And I'm sure you're steaming after I ended your protege's career. So I say at King of the Ring, you booked the first plane out of that dump you call a home, and you give me my damn title match so I can just retire you already and carry this company on the top of my back. But instead of Austin, well then again, he already said Austin was home. The Undertaker's music hits, and he comes riding down on his bike. Keep rolling. He parks the bike, and he gets in the ring. Him and Triple H have a stare down for a few seconds before Taker takes the mic and he says, first things first, why are you in my yard? And secondly, why are you here? We can go to our promo now. Why are you here crying like a little bitch when everybody saw your shoulders on the mat for the 3 count? Now, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, or whatever the hell you're going by these days, there's some rules in my yard. There's no bitching, no moaning, no crying. Unless, of course, that's if I beat you. Because you know what? I think I should face Austin for the WWF title. And since you're in my yard trespassing, I say let's settle the score right now. Triple H then replies saying, oh really? You think you deserve a shot at Austin? Let alone me? Didn't I beat you a few weeks back? Or a few months, I should say. Taker then goes, yeah, with a little help. But yeah. But didn't I beat you at WrestleMania? So it looks like we're even. Oh, and one more thing. And Taker just slugs Triple H with a right, taking him down, and he walks out of the ring. Presumably, I mean, the reason why he slugged Triple H in my eyes would have been because he knows it pisses Triple H off and it would get under his skin and make him want to have a match. So, either way, that's our opening match of the night, which teases that The Undertaker, you know what, he's not a tag team champion no more. He doesn't have any obligations towards the tag team title scene right now since his brother's out. So why not go after Austin in the WWF title? Of course, Jerry Lawler being pretty weak here. Got the show off to it. I would say got off the show to the strong A-star. Hell yeah. Triple H came out looking excellent. Undertaker came across well and it gained heat for Austin and Triple H's storyline. Interesting. We then come back from a commercial break and we follow it up with an A. Not an A-star, but a solid A. Not too shabby here. Back from commercial, we see Mr. McMahon. He's standing in his office and we hear screaming as Triple H and Stephanie come barging in. And Vince goes, the hell is your problem? And then Triple H replies, did you just see what happened? The Undertaker thinks he can come out to the ring, my ring, and punch me in my face and get away with it? And then Vince just goes, well, apparently so. Steph then gets involved and she says, well, Dad, we're here because we want The Undertaker, and we know that you're the one in charge. For now. Vince says, you want The Undertaker, alright? It's not unreasonable. But the dead man made a valid point out there, so I'll give you The Undertaker. But if he wins, then he'll be the number 1 contender to the WWF title, because the number 1 contendership is on the line. Now, like Commissioner Foley would say, have a nice day. And then I'd imagine Vince just leaving his office, leaving both his daughter and son-in-law there. Vince improvised well. Triple H, of course, working the crowd well. Everyone was unscripted here because Stephanie McMahon used her creative control in her contract to ensure she go unscripted. and she struggled. Good going, Stephanie. Triple H was the real star. Stephanie performed poorly. That's why I don't book you. So we move on to our opening match of the night. Wow, this did a lot better than it should have. Opening match of the night, we get a solid C in an extremely short match. Chuck Palumbo defeating K-Quick in 2 minutes 32 seconds with the torture rack. Got a C rating. It was only less than 3 minutes long. I mean, they did have great chemistry. It says right here, Chuck Palumbo, K-Quick have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. Chuck Palumbo, I guess, is a little popular, but still a C. That surprises me. Palumbo had a B-, K-Quick had a D+, and K-Quick is improving in performance. We then go to a B- angle here as the match is over, but Stacy demands Palumbo continue to beat down on K-Quick as he does before tossing him out of the ring, and then Stacy takes the mic and she says, Kurt Angle, did you see that? In fact, did you all see that? Because that is what Chuck Palumbo is capable of, especially considering after we drop that dead weight. Next week, Kurt, you'll get to experience the new Chuck Palumbo when he beats you to move on in the King of the Ring tournament. See you next week, Kurt. And they just walk off. Simple as that. Stacy just putting over Chuck Palumbo, confirming that I guess, we can go ahead and pre-book it, that next week on Monday Night Raw, that we will see another King of the Ring match as Kurt Angle battles Chuck Palumbo in round 2 of the King of the Ring. The only match that's actually not considered, but is confirmed right now. So there we have that. Kurt Angle versus Chuck Palumbo will take place on Raw next week. And the deadweight, of course, being Sean O'Haire, who, if you didn't watch Sunday Night Heat, is now in NWA Wildside and is looking like he's going to be in a program with Rob Van Dam. We then go to a solid B here. It looks like everyone was right about Bubba Ray Dudley. Solid B rating here for another angle. We see the Dudley boys. They're both warming up for their King of the Ring matches that are both going to be in action tonight. When Bubba Ray just starts talking, he says, Devon, tonight if you and I win, tonight if and when you beat Edge, and tonight if and when I beat that Canadian punk Lance Storm, you and I are going to be facing off in round 2. And I'm not worried about our brotherhood being at risk or anything. I know whoever wins next week, at the end of the day, we're still brothers. All I want to do is wish you good luck tonight, and next week, let the best Dudley win. And that's just pretty much a nice little segment, nothing too important here, not a tease of anything whatsoever, so don't get your hypes up. Pretty much just, because they're both going to be in action next, and if they win, they will indeed fight each other in round 2. Unfortunately, that won't be happening because we go to a B- in our first match of the King, well, not our first match of the King of the Round, but our first match of the King of the Ring tonight. We get a solid, not a solid, that's incorrect. Solid is not B-. That's just the B- rating, and a decent match here. Edge did go on to defeat Devon Dudley in 10 minutes, 27 seconds with the spear, moving on into the King of the Ring. So, looks like there won't be no Dudley boys taking each other on next week. But we do know Edge will face the winner of Bubba Ray versus Lance Storm. So, Edge had a C+, and Devon had a C+. Not too bad on both of them. They're on the same totem pole, it would appear. So we move on to the next segment, which gets a B- rating. Backstage, we see Lord Steven Regal alongside his 2 bodyguards, Power Plant, of course, being Mark Jindrak and Sean Stasiak. They walk by Rikishi and Scotty 2 Hotty, too cool. When Regal makes a disgusted-looking face and he says, "What is that putrid smell?" "Oh, my apologies, Rikishi. I didn't realize you were there. You'd think you'd shower every once in a while." Rikishi, of course, does just laughs it off, doesn't really care what Regal has to say. Regal then goes to say, it's not next week. I don't know why I said that. On Nitro this week, you take on Mr. Jindrak here in the King of the Ring tournament. Such a shame to see you go so soon in the tournament, Rikishi. Although ever since you, allow me to quote, did it for The Rock, your career has been going downhill since. That's when Rikishi gets a little upset here, and he grabs Regal by his collar, and he says, you got a pretty big mouth, Regal. And that's when Power Plant steps up, and Regal's like, now easy, boys, easy. Rikishi, you may have missed the Jindrak on Nitro. Not tonight, but on Nitro. But since you seem to be in a fighting mood right now, why don't you and little Scotty 2 Hotty meet my bodyguards in the ring next? And then Regal just walks away while Rikishi just sits there, looking kind of pissed, but I guess maybe nodding his head. That leads us to our next match. We get a C+ rating here, and a poor match, which is unfortunate. In a poor match, Power Plant defeating Too Cools, Rikishi, and Scotty 2 Hotty, when Mark Jindrak defeated Scotty 2 Hotty with the Mark of Perfection. Regal, of course, doing good work ringside. Stasiak had a C-. Mark Jindrak had a C. Scotty 2 Hotty had a C-. Both he and Stasiak are on the same level, but were the weakest. And Rikishi carried the match with a C+. Scotty is improving in Rumble, so that's something. We move on to the next segment. Before the match begins, Lance Storm grabs the mic and he says, "If I can be serious for just a moment," I'd like to imagine the crowd erupting into boos right there. "If I can be serious for just a moment, tonight's match is a complete and total joke. You're going to take a competitor of my caliber and put me in the ring with one of those dirty Dudleys? The only thing the Dudley boys are good at is ruining perfectly fine furniture. But that's okay, because once I get rid of that damn Dudley, I move on to Edge. And trust me when I say this, Edge, I'm going to take great pleasure in beating you again." That's when the fireworks go off and Bubba Ray Dudley's music hits, and he aggressively is walking towards the ring, making a beeline pretty much, as Lance Storm kind of pissed him off with those words. And that leads us to our second and final King of the Ring match of the night, which, holy hell almighty, got a solid B rating. You guys are pulling off something I would have never expected you guys to do. In a decent match, Lance Storm defeating Bubba Ray Dudley in the King of the Ring in 9 minutes 44 seconds with the last call. Both superstars had a C+ rating here. And the Road Agent report here, not the Road Agent report, but the Road Agent notes, I will show off because this was our Wild Brawl match of the night. I know it probably fits Bubba's, fighting style, but I figured Lance Storm's more of a technician, so that might actually maybe bring him down a little bit. But either way, Lance Storm got a bonus for going all out. High morale. Bubba, like I said, well suited for the match type, star quality, well booked. This match just had everything going for it. So now we have our second confirmed King of the Ring match, and we can take both these ones out, leaving our final round 1 matches to take place on Nitro this week, as we will see the rematch, as Lance Storm will battle Edge in round 2, and whoever wins between Mark Jindrak and Rikishi will battle Christian, and whoever wins between Rey Mysterio Jr. and Dean Malenko will battle the Intercontinental and United States Champion Chris Benoit. So we move to our next segment. We get a D rating. Whatever. D rating in an abysmal match. Whatever. Jacqueline defeating Lufisto in 5 minutes and a second by pinfall, so I guess she doesn't have a finisher move. Jacqueline and Lufisto apparently have great chemistry, so that showed in their performance, so this match probably would have done worse if not for that. Lufisto is one of the developmental stars in our OVW developmental territory. I mentioned I think it was on SmackDown, I don't remember when it was, but I mentioned it that OVW, unfortunately, all the women in my developmental system are pushed as managers because for some reason none of them have a women's division. Well, one of you guys let me know I can fix that, and I did indeed fix that, so OVW should have the women's division now, and these women should hopefully be progressing. So either way, these two had an abysmal match apparently, but decent if you ask me. D's not too bad. Cooled the crowd, unfortunately. Jacqueline shone in the match. He had a C rating. Lufisto had an F+. No worker improvements. Out of curiosity, I want to check out Lufisto, though. High morale. I guess there's that. She's got a poor gimmick, though. So we move on to the next segment. We go to a C-, which, that's a little surprising. C-. After the match, Jacqueline picks up the microphone and she says, week after week, ever since I returned, all I've been hearing is why, Jackie, why? Well, I'll tell you why. Did you guys know that Lita was injured? Of course you did. Just like you knew when she was returning. Because Vince and the WWF wanted you to know. Did you know I was injured? How about my return? How come I was never advertised? I was good enough when Vince needed to bring the WWF Women's Division back from the dead after Alundra Blaze, a.k.a. Medusa, jumped ship over to WCW and literally threw the title in the trash. I was good then. But of course Vince found someone with bigger assets than me. Sable. And then I took the back seat for years until I finally won the title back. But then I was told I was going to do the job to put over Vince's daughter, Stephanie McMahon, a girl who never worked a day in her life. And ever since, I've been just another face in this division, while slutty women like Lita and Trish take away my spotlight. Well, not anymore. Lita, I'm coming for you. And I'm going to make this damn division mean something again. And then she tosses the mic down, officially making her heel turn, nerds and geeks. Miss Jacqueline turning, and it was a complete success. She's now a heel, and I'm not going to go ahead and say this confirms it, but it kind of does. That we are going to see the WWF Women's Championship on the line as Lita makes her second defense against Jacqueline. WWF Women's Championship. Lita versus Jacqueline. There you have it. So we move on to the next segment. We get a B- before the commercial break. We just see a pickup truck pull up, and out comes Austin, who is officially here tonight. We didn't know he was going to be here, but Stone Cold's here. That goes to a commercial break. Leads us to our main event of the night, which gets an A rating. Hell yes. I gave this 20 minutes specifically. Then again, it only went to 19. But still, from what I've read, you can only get A ratings if you do a, what was I going to say? If you have a match that's over, if it's 20 minutes or over. So I had 2 minutes extra to book. Originally, I gave this match 16 minutes. I had 2 minutes extra to book, so I went ahead and gave it 18 minutes, and then I was like, you know what? Why not even see if it can get an A rating, which it did, and give it to 20 minutes. So we have a bout that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. Triple H defeating The Undertaker in 19 minutes, 41 seconds by pinfall with the pedigree. Ignore that. That's not what happened. By pinfall following interference from the Giant. So let me explain how I would book how I imagine this going off. So Earl Hebner, if we go into the booking details here, Earl Hebner was the referee, and we all know that Triple H and Earl Hebner love each other. They're best friends. Everyone knows that. So Triple H and Earl Hebner, of course, being sarcastic, they hate each other. During the match, I'd imagine Triple H, hits the Undertaker with a pedigree. Taker kicks out. Triple H is frustrated, puts his hands on Hebner, and eventually maybe even knocks him out. That leads to the brawl going on for a little longer. Taker maybe hitting a last ride on Triple H or something. And going for the cover, of course, Earl Hebner being down, the Giant, or maybe Stephanie gets in the ring and starts, trying to get involved. Taker grabs her by the throat, but that's when the Giant rushes down to the ring, turns Taker down, and hits him with a punch. And mind you, here's the special thing, and all right, spoiler report. I'm gonna kind of acknowledge this on Nitro this week, but Big Show has brass knuckles on, and they're courtesy of the commissioner, Lord Steven Regal, as he turns the Undertaker around and hits him with a punch, knockout punch, pretty much with brass knuckles on, taking the Undertaker down. He then tosses Triple H over top of the Undertaker, walks out. Earl Hebner finally waking up after, a few seconds. Triple H has already pinned Taker for the 3 count, and he slowly counts it. Stephanie's, shaking him, trying to get him up. He slowly counts finally to the 1, 2, 3, leading to Triple H becoming the number 1 contender for Stone Cold's championship. So we now know that at King of the Ring, we will also see the rematch between the former tag team champions as Stone Cold Steve Austin defends his WWF championship against Triple H once again. WWF championship. I forgot to do this for the Lita one, so I'm going to do it off screen, of course. But actually, you know what? Let's just do it now while we're here. WWF championship. Let's go ahead. Can we edit this? No, I'm going to have to delete it, so fuck it. I'm not editing that. Go ahead and close it. That confirms that. A rating. Super stoked about that. Of course, Triple H and Stephanie have great chemistry. JR and King worked together, got the crowd hotter. Triple H had an A rating. Taker had an A star. Gained heat to the Giant Undertaker storyline. And we move on to the next segment. Unfortunately, didn't get an A rating, which a little upsetting. But either way, B+. Triple H, of course, gaining his consciousness back. He's finally getting up, and he's finally realizing that he is now indeed the number 1 contender. He just won the match. He's celebrating. Stephanie's helping him up. And that's when Stone Cold's music hits. And he makes his way down to the ring, making a beeline right towards it. Gets in the ring, walks right up to Triple H, stuns him, kicks him in the gut, hits him with the Stone Cold Stunner, does the whole flipping off thing, talking in his face a little bit, and then just walks back out of the arena. Doesn't even care. Just a simple, that's for Rhino, pretty much. Triple H and Stephanie, again, great chemistry, blah, blah, blah. Austin was fantastic. Triple H was the real star, and it gained heat for that. We end off the show to get an A rating. Hell yeah. Increasing the popularity in 18 regions. That's 3 A ratings in the same month. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Raw was getting fantastic reviews. Chance Beckett is rising. Yeah, why not? I'll shortlist you. He's an enhancement talent, but apparently he's rising. Dan Severn retired. What a shame. What a shame. And James Mitchell got a web victory. He's apparently the best manager in the world right now. I'm not disagreeing. Then again, I don't have a lot of managers. We'll shortlist him. Maybe bring James Mitchell in sometime. So we got a couple of stuff here. Just your normal fees and ratings. But then we have Scott Steiner's opinion. What, huh? Everyone, The Rock says he loves Bubba Ray Dudley. I've had a couple people. But apparently, according to Scott Steiner, Bubba Ray Dudley just doesn't connect with the fans. Probably write the kid off. Damn. That's harsh. What is this? Incident involving Sean Stasiak. Oh boy. Let me guess. I'm just going to guess right now. Steroids. What a shame. Steroids. Let's go ahead and find him. Unhappy? Maybe he shouldn't do, his personality got worse. There's a reason why Mark Jindrak's the star of the group. Just saying. Either way, nerds and geeks, let's check out storylines before we end off this episode. Good. Giant and Undertaker's got an A rating. Hell, that's super good. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't done already. My name's been OMGWTF, LOLTWBRB. I'll see you guys for Nitro. So until then, have a great day.